So good morning, everyone. And thank you for coming to today's service. You know, this is the second day of the three-day weekend for you. And I'm really amazed you make decision to come to the temple on the second day of the, three-day weekend. So thank you very much for coming. Yesterday, I was in San Francisco, specifically Chinatown. They held the first Kung Fu tournament in Chinatown for the history of Chinatown in San Francisco. And then traditional schools, I don't know if you are into Kung Fu or not, so maybe I should explain. But there is a Northern Kung Fu and Southern Kung Fu. Northern Kung Fu is more, flowing or dynamic, and then Southern is more powerful. So like Hung Gar and the Choi Li Fa, then Wing Chun, that kind of Kung Fu is from Southern. The Northern style, I personally practice the style called Eagle Claw Kung Fu. So, that is more jumping, kicking, and, a lot of gymnastic things. So it was really nice to have all the traditional schools from San Francisco Bay Area extending to Sacramento and, other area came together to put the tournament. So that was really, fun yesterday. I didn't know there is a wall art of Bruce Lee. You know Bruce Lee, right? So there was a wall art of Bruce Lee doing like something like this, not this one. But I saw it, and that was really cool. So we went with the school from Sacramento, so we took all the picture in front of the wall art of Bruce Lee. That was really cool. So if you have a chance, please go Chinatown in San Francisco, and there are great Kung Fu school in San Francisco, so you may be able to visit their school too. Anyway, so it was really nice to have Reverend Dr. Takashi Miyaji for the Gotan-e service last Sunday. Gotan-e is the celebration of the birthday of our founder, Shinran Shonin. And when I first met Reverend Dr. Miyaji in 2009, we were both still in 20s. So, I didn't expect him to be the dean of Institute of Buddhist Studies this early, but thinking about his grandpa, Reverend Kakue Miyaji, was the minister of BCA, and he was also a Kangaku scholar. That is the top of Honganji's scholar. So, he has the kind of a gene becoming to the scholar. So, I'm really looking forward to see him become the first Kangaku born in the United States. So, I have to make him work harder. So today is the last Sunday of the month. So I will respond to the few questions I have received. And, then can I have my screen up again? I'm not sure if you knew this, but there is a form you can submit the questions. So, please submit the questions if you have any. And then where you can find it, that is a question. But please ask Sandy. So there are a few questions which are submitted, and some are easy to respond, and some are deep. So I think I should try to answer them in few months, not answering, today, everything. So if your questions are not answered this month, don't worry about it. I will try to respond to your questions, some another time. So today, let me start with this question. Is it true that Shinto is for celebration and Buddhism is for funeral? So I have to admit, many Japanese people in Japan misunderstand in this way too. Because weddings are conducted in the Shinto shrine or Christian church in many cases in Japan, even though they are not Christian. And then most of the funerals are conducted by Buddhist priest or monk. So it's probably true many Japanese people think in this way. And then there are gravesites in Buddhist temple, but not at Shinto shrines. There are no gravesite on Shinto shrine. Then I was recalling my memories, thinking about, yeah, that's true. I realized that there are no gravesite in Shinto shrine. I have never seen gravesite in Shinto shrine. This is because Shinto considered death as impurity, death as impurity. And shrine is a sacred space meant to be pure and dedicated to Kami. Kami is the God in Japan. So all the funerals were conducted at the Buddhist temples or at the places of different religions. So this is one of the reasons many people misunderstand that Shinto is for celebration and Buddhism is for funeral. But I think instead of saying Buddhism is for funerals, I would say Buddhism is more closely tied to everyday life in Japan, closely tied to everyday life in Japan. So we conduct not only funerals, but weddings and other happy occasions too. If you want to celebrate birthday, you can come to temple too, right? Like, we don't have a custom of celebrating one called Shichigo-san in Joro Shinshu temples, but some temples celebrate this originally Shinto tradition of Shichigo-san, which is a celebration of the children who turned 7 years old, 5 years old, and 3 years old. That's what Shichigo-san means. So if we understand this tradition as a day to celebrate the growth of the children and express our gratitude for Buddha's great compassion, there is no reason we cannot celebrate Shichigo-san in Joro Shinshu Temple. And actually, when I was in Oregon Buddhist Temple in Portland, Oregon, one of the Japanese family called the temple if they can come and celebrate the Shichigo-san. So I said, okay, I will do the service for you. And then so we did have a Shichigo-san service at the Joro Shinshu Temple. So I think this is a good opportunity to show that temple is related to the daily life of people. So we can probably consider having Shichigo-san one day. Then next question is a really difficult one. So I have a lot to say about next question, and I think this is the last question I can answer today because it's gonna take time. Is Bodhisattva Dharmakara a historical person? So this is really a difficult question, right? So if you are not interested, please go, right? As Reverend Dr. Takashi Miyaji said, don't snore, right? You can sleep, but don't snore. So simple answer for this question is no, Bodhisattva Dharmakara is not a historical person, right? I wish I had a skill to reply to this question with simplicity, clarity, and maybe with some jokes, but all I can do is to rely on what I have in my head. So, please watch the video again. If you didn't get it in one time, you can go to Sacramento Buddhist Church Facebook page or YouTube channel, and then you can watch the video again. And then I hope you get it in so many times. So for those who does not know who Bodhisattva Dharmakara is, so Bodhisattva Dharmakara appears in one of the teachings of the Buddha we rely on, titled the Raja Sutra. And Bodhisattva Dharmakara is the name of Bodhisattva, who seeks for the attainment of the enlightenment of the self and others. And there are two types of vows of Bodhisattva, One is called universal vows, and others are called individual vows. And then universal vows are common to all the bodhisattvas, and there are 4 of them. This is your eye test. Hopefully you can read it from behind. So sentient beings are innumerable. I vow to save them all. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to uproot them all. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to master them all. The Buddha way is unsurpassed. I vow to realize. So to save is to make the path for being to attain enlightenment, to create or establish the path for the being to attain enlightenment. So in kanji character, it means to lead across or to ferry across. That is what is translated as to save. And Bodhisattva established the individual vows to fulfill these universal vows. Then in the case of Bodhisattva Dharmakara, it was 48 vows. 48 vows. And these vows are fulfilled after the long time of practice. That is why Bodhisattva Dharmakara's hairstyle became like this. Did you know that? No? This is a statue in Konkai Komyoji in Kyoto. So if you have a chance to go to Kyoto, you can look at the temple's name and visit this beautiful statue of Bodhisattva Dharmakara. Then, some people might think that if this story did not happen historically, who are we putting our hands for? Who are we putting our hands for? Then I thought when I was attending Reverend Dr. Takashi Miyaji's lecture after the service, I thought, this is probably related to the question which was brought up during his lecture. How do we know that there is Pure Land even though no one came back from the Pure Land? How do we know that there is Pure Land even though nobody came back from the Pure Land? Then actually, thinking about who is sharing the teaching of Amida Buddha and the Pure Land is the Buddha. The Buddha shared the teaching of the Pure Land and Amida Buddha. So the Buddha, or the awakened one, is also called Tathagata. Tathagata. And depending on how we divide the word Tata, Agata, or Tata and Gata, the meaning changes. So Tathagata is the one, or thus come one, or thus gone one. These are the two interpretations of Tathagata. And then Tathagata is the one who have reached or gone to the realm of enlightenment. Or I could say that Tathagata is the one who came from the realm of enlightenment to share what the realm of enlightenment is like. So I could say that the Buddha is the one who came back from the Pure Land, the realm of enlightenment. And we are listening to the stories taught by the one who came back from the realm of enlightenment. That is the Raja Sutra. And then enlightenment in Buddhism arises from non-discriminative wisdom, a wisdom that does not divide between self and others, or between this and that, which means there is no color, no form to describe the enlightenment itself. So this is also called the Dharma body as suchness. Then how can we access if there is no form nor color? Because if there's no form or no color, we cannot express by the word. So the formless took the form to reach us. This is called the Dharma body as compassionate means. And I know this is a little bit confusing. So you are head is overwhelming too much. But I'm not sure if this is a good example or not. But I like the Christopher Nolan movie director and his version of the Batman. Dark Knight was probably one of the best action movies I have ever watched, except some of the Kung Fu movies, right? And I know this is too secular example, and I hope it doesn't confuse everybody, but Batman chooses the image of a bat to represent fear, so that he can overcome his own fear, and then so the others will feel that strong presence of the fear. And now, of course, right, Amida Buddha and Batman are completely different, but in a small way, we might say that they share something, right? They share something. Both take on a form in order to reach others. They take form in order to reach others. So in Buddhism, we say that Amida Buddha is not just a symbol, but the very reality of awakening, taking form to reach people like us, people full of afflictions, worries, and struggles. That form appears as light. The form appears as light. And as a, Buddha figure, and it could be taking the form of Namo Amida Butsu, right? And that is taking the form to reach people like us, people full of afflictions. So we call this the Dharma body as compassionate means. Dharma body as compassionate means. The truth itself taking the form as the name Namo Amida Butsu. So again, to respond to this question, it was the question, right? Is Bodhisattva Dharmakara a historical person? Then, no, Bodhisattva Dharmakara or Amida Buddha is not a historical figure, but the enlightenment itself took the form to reach us as the story in the larger sutra, and as the Buddha figure, and as the name, Namo Amida Butsu. And in Jodo Shinshu, we understand that Shakyamuni Buddha is the manifested Dharma body of Amida Buddha. Amida Buddha took the form of Shakyamuni Buddha for us, for our sake, to guide us and teach us about the teaching of Amida Buddha. So I have mentioned this a few times, or a couple of times, but we offer 2 rice in front of Amida Buddha. One is for Amida, and one is for Shakyamuni Buddha. Even though that's not the Shakyamuni Buddha's statue, as I mentioned, Shakyamuni Buddha appeared, not Shakyamuni Buddha, Amida Buddha took the form as Shakyamuni Buddha and appeared in this world. That is why we offer 2 rice in front of Amida Buddha's statue. So I'm sure this was really difficult topic to comprehend or grasp the meaning of it. But again, please watch many times, and then you might get it. If not, you can go to Reverend Dr. Takashi Miyagi's lecture again, and then learn about it too. So this is the 2 questions I wanted to reply today, and then I will try to respond another question in some another time. So thank you very much for coming, and please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu.